Hi guys, welcome back to my tutorial. My name is Aliyah, and if you are a subscriber on this channel or if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and share my video, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more fashion contents like this. Okay, on today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to cut out and then stitch a loop. These loops are mostly found at the back of corsets. Most people use the loops for corsets. So I'll be teaching you two ways I create it, or two ways I stitch it to my corset back. I'm just going to demonstrate how I cut out and sew my loops using this grey buffed pieces. So I went ahead to cut 7 inches by 8 here, and then so I cut 2. So the first one is for the first method and the second one is for the second method. So I'm just going to put this aside and then we'll work with the first method. So I'll be using this cotton bias for my loops. So before I go ahead to stitch the first method, on this 4 pieces here, so I'll be using the loop will be in between this and then that. So I went ahead to press my stiff on one side of it so that it stays firm after I stitch the loop to the piece. So if I'm going to stitch my loops to my corset, whether I'm making waist corset or Victorian corset, any corset you want to join your loops to, first of all, you just take the center back. So let's say this side is our center back, and that's where we'll be joining our loops. So I'll just go ahead and then measure from here all the way to 8. So I'll need you can cut out about 8 loops, but it depends on the interval between the loops. So maybe when I join one loop here, I come down by half an inch and then I connect the other one and then I come down by half an inch. That's what I'll do all the way. So I prefer to cut it longer. So instead of the 8 loops, I'll go ahead and then cut it out 10, just to be on a safer side. But if you're not really sure how long or how many loops you need, you can cut it longer than mine. It depends on like I said, it depends on the interval at this point. But when I fix one here, I'll be coming down by half an inch, and that's the first method I'll be teaching you. So another way you can go ahead and know the number of loops you need is by marking it out like this. So the loop I'll be making takes about a quarter. So you just place your tape measure here, measure a quarter, and since I want the intervals to be half an inch, that's what I've made it longer here. So that's a half an inch mark. I've just this is the half an inch mark here. So the quarter. So when you come down from here a quarter, measure half an inch down, come down a quarter, measure half an inch. So that's what I did all the way to the end. So when you're done doing that, you count the number of quarters you have here. So that's what I've made tiny here, so that it will be easy for me to count it. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I'll need 9 loops in total for this piece. So you can also go ahead and do that. I think this way is easier. So after marking out the piece like this, just go ahead and take a bias. So this is this is a half inch cotton bias I'm using. So I'll just take my bias like this, then I'll fold it like so. But before folding it, we need to know the length we'll be cutting. So I have 9 pieces here, and then the width of my loop is going to be 2 inches. So 2 inches throughout. So if I need 9 loops for this part here, so 9 times 2 is 18. So if you are going to work on both sides of your corset, so it will be 18 for this side and then 18 for the other side. I hope you understand me. So since I'll be working with just this one, I'll be maintaining my 18 inches. But like I said, if you're working with both sides, you cut 18 plus 18 is what, 36. You cut out up to 36 inches for both sides. So on the cotton bias, I'll just go ahead and measure 18 inches, but I'll add 2 inches just in case I'll need more than 9 loops. So you can make it longer just in case you need more loops. So I'll be cutting 20 inches here. So I'm done cutting my 20 inches. This is what it looks like. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'll be folding it in like this. So just take a bias like this and you fold it in, and then take it to your machine and then just sew close to the edge here. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I'm done stitching my loop. This is how it looks like. So before stitching it, I went ahead to pin it in place so that when I'm stitching it, it doesn't shift. So make sure you pin it before you stitch it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead, measure 2 inch and then cut it out, since I'll be fixing it separately. So this is 2 inch. So I'm done cutting my loops. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll be folding in my loop and then pinning it to this 1/4 inch I marked here. So in order to fold the loop, you just take it this way and then fold it like this. Make one side overlap the other side like this, so it's like this, right? And then take one side and then make sure it overlaps the other by just 1/4. Don't make it overlap all the way to the end, just make it overlap a bit like this. So this is how I create my loops. After creating your loop, you're just gonna pin it on your fabric like this. So this is the first 1/4 I marked here, so I'm just gonna place it on it like this. So let's say that this is our facing and this is our main fabric. So when you take the facing like this, you're just gonna go ahead, place the loop like this. Make sure it's the part that is pointy faces you like this. Then you just go ahead and pin it. Make sure you pin it down well in a way that the overlapping you made here won't shift. So make sure you pin it well, so when you're sewing it, it doesn't shift at that point. So I'm just gonna do that for the rest. Fold it in and then place it. So after the 1/2 inch I came down here, I'm going next to the 1/4 I marked. So this is there. So this, the interval between the first and then the second one is 1/2 inch. And I'll pin it down. Okay, just like so. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that all the way to the end. So I'm done pinning it. This is how it looks like. So I'm just gonna take it to my machine and then sew a 1/4 to join it to my facing before I go ahead and then stitch this one on it. So it's gonna be in between the main fabric and then the facing. So guys, I'm done stitching it and this is how it looks like. So I made sure it didn't shift. So when you're just sewing, take your time and then sew it. And also went ahead to stitch it twice. So after stitching it, I stitched it again just to make sure it's in place or it doesn't remove after I'm done joining it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll be placing this other side here. So let's call this the main fabric, like I said. So I'll be placing the main fabric here like so. Then I go ahead and then pin it all the way to the end. So this is what it will look like. So when I'm done pinning it, I'll just go ahead and mark in my 1/2 inch or any allowance that you've measured at the center back here. So if you use 1/2 inch, you can go ahead and then use a 1/2 inch. But if it's a 1/4 too, you can just go ahead and then follow the line here you stitched on the facing. So I'll be marking 1/2 inch here for me. Then I'll sew it all the way to the end. So I'm done sewing it. I'm just flipping it all the way to the other side. So this is how it will look like. So when you're done stitching your loop and you wear it, the pointy side will come towards the outside like this. So after this, after you're done stitching it, just go ahead and then press it so that it's very neat. So that's all for the first method. So I'm going to be showing you the second method. So the second method is going to be a continuous loop. So instead of the intervals half inch, it's just going to continue like that. So I won't be cutting it 2 inch. It's just going to be a long loop I'll be cutting. So since it's going to be a long loop, I'll need more than so remember here was 8 inches, and then for the first method I multiplied it by 2. For this one I'll multiply it by 3 since it's continuous. So 8 times 3 is 24. So I'll go ahead and then measure 24 here and then cut it out. So this is 24. So the next thing I'll do is I'll just fold it like I did for the first one. I'll just fold it in and then go and stitch my quarter, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I'm done stitching my strip just like how I did the first one, and then I'm just going to show you the second way I fix my strip, my loop, sorry. So please ignore the pencil marks here, it's not important. So just place a strip like this on wherever you want the loop to start from. Then you're just going to pin it down. Just pin it in place like so. So all you just do is you just fold it in like this. Sorry. You just take a strip like this, then you fold it in like so. You can make it overlap it a bit, or you can just make it meet like this. It doesn't have to overlap. So if you're okay with the length like this, just go ahead and pin the other side. So like I said, this one continues, so I'm not going to trim anything. So you just continue it like this, fold it in like this, then you pin it down. Then this side too will come in like this. So it just continues all the way to the end. Make sure it's equal as this one. Then you pin that one too. Let me do 2 more rounds just so that you guys understand what I'm doing. So turn it in like this. Pin it down. If you're not really sure about the measurement from this point to here, you can just go ahead and measure it. Then you just curve it in a bit like this. Take the next one in like so. Pin it. And then turn it in again. So you just do it like this all the way to the end. Yeah, if you don't really like how close it is, you can go ahead after the first one, just measure in a bit and then continue from there. Then you measure in a bit so that maybe in the end you have half inch intervals in between, if that's what you want. But mine is okay. So let's say maybe this intervals is like a quarter here, so I'll just maintain mine like this. So I'm just going to do it all the way to the end, and I'll show you how it looks like. So I'm done pinning it. This is how it looks like. So I just realized that my strip wasn't enough here. So whatever you cut, if you also want your own to look like this, just go ahead and then add 2 more inches or something to it. So when you multiply the 8 inches I had by 3, so I had 24, so instead of the 24 you just go ahead and cut 26 so that it reaches. But like I said, it depends on the interval you're using, because maybe the interval you choose to use might be wider than mine, so that way the loops will end up reaching. But if it doesn't reach like that, you just go ahead and then add an extra when you're cutting yours out, when you're cutting the strip out, sorry. So I'm just going to take it straight to the machine, then I'm just going to sew a quarter from here all the way to the end here. So I'm done stitching it. This is how it looks like. Just like the first one, I also went ahead to give this one a double stitch here so that it stays firm. So I'm just going to take the other side and then place it on like so. Right side to right side. Then I'll go ahead and then pin it and then sew half an inch here. Then I'll show you how it looks like. So I'm done sewing this one and this is how it's looking like. So I'm kind of having it some bigger than others because I didn't measure the length. So like I said, if you've reached the point where you're joining the loops, just go ahead and measure the length. So when you're done, everything will be equal. I hope you understand what I just said. So this is how they'll all look like. So the difference between this and this is that this one, just like I said, this one you just cut it 2 inches and then this one just goes continuous. That's why it's a lot more than this one. So we have reached the end of this video. Let me know which of these 2 methods you have tried by leaving a comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if this video has really helped you. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so it alerts you anytime I post a new video. Thanks again for watching my video. Have a lovely day wherever you are. Bye.